You know exactly which belief I'm talking about. You've known for a while. You just haven't decided what to do about it yet. Welcome to Daily Power Boost. I'm Sean Michael. This isn't a podcast about pushing harder or fixing yourself. It's a space to see clearly how your experience is actually being created. Each episode offers a simple shift in understanding, not a tactic, not a hustle. A clearer view of thought, identity, and the patterns you've been living inside. Because when misunderstanding drops, relief rises, energy returns. You move forward with calm, sovereign clarity. This is your Daily Power Boost. Welcome back to Daily Power Boost. We've spent the last several episodes inside the belief layer, where they come from, how the inner critic uses them, how to tell the difference between the voice that protects you and the one that guides you. All of that has been building towards this. At some point, the excavation has to get specific. You can understand belief systems in general. You can nod along with every episode and feel the insight land. And still leave the one belief untouched. The one that's been quietly determining your ceiling for years. That's what today is about. Not beliefs in the abstract, yours, specifically the one you already know. I know someone who spent years doing personal development work, books, courses, coaches, retreats. They were genuinely committed. They weren't dabbling. And they grew measurably, visibly, in almost every area, except one. There was a belief they kept circling, but never quite resolving directly. Something about whether they were truly worthy of the level of success they were building toward. Not feeling like an imposter exactly. Something older, quieter than that. Every time they got close to naming it fully, they'd pivot to another framework, another insight, some layer of work. Not because they were lazy. It was because naming it fully meant they'd have to do something about it. And doing something about it meant admitting how much it had already cost them. That's the thing about the belief that's costing you the most. It doesn't hide because it's hard to find. It hides because finding it requires a specific kind of courage. The courage to look at the gap between where you are and where you could have been and not collapse under the weight of that distance. Most people aren't avoiding the belief. They're avoiding the accounting. Let me share what that accounting actually looks like at the identity level. Every costly belief has a tax. You pay it daily in decisions that you don't make, the risks you don't take, the rooms you don't enter, the versions of yourself you haven't inhabited yet. The tax, it's not usually dramatic. It's the slightly smaller number you quoted, that opportunity you talked yourself out of before anyone else got the chance. That relationship you kept at arm's length because closeness felt dangerous. Or the version of your work you almost made, but pulled back before it was fully exposed. Accumulated over years, that tax becomes the difference between the life you're living and the one you sense as possible. And the belief collecting it has been so present for so long, it stopped feeling like a belief, and it started feeling like reality. Here's what changes when you finally name it directly. It's not about fixing it or resolving it, replacing it with something more empowering. Just name it fully, no flinch, and something shifts. Because a belief operating in the dark has unlimited authority. It can organize your entire life around itself without ever being questioned. Once you name a belief clearly and hold it up to the light, the belief has to justify itself. And most of them can't under the spotlight. They were formed by someone younger with less information in a different phase. You've already done that work in this block. You know where they come from. What's different today is the specific courage of saying, this is the one that's been running the show. Not in a journal where it feels safe, out loud, or at least in writing clear enough that you can't unsee it. The moment you name it with that level of precision, it stops being the water you swim in and becomes something you can actually work with. One question, and I want you to sit with this one longer than it feels comfortable. What is the one belief that if I released it completely would change everything? Not a belief, the belief. The one your mind just moved toward and then away from in the same breath. Go back to it. Write it down in one clean sentence. No qualifications, no context, just the belief itself. You can't do anything about something you won't fully name. And you've been not naming this one for long enough. If you wrote it down and felt something shift, that's not coincidence. That's the beginning of the work that actually changes things. Book a clarity call, not to talk about beliefs in general, but to take that one you just named and figure out precisely what it's been costing you and what becomes available when it loses its grip. The link is in the show notes. Next time, you've named the belief. Now comes the part most people skip entirely, actually updating it without pretending it wasn't real or any toxic positivity that won't hold up under pressure. With strength and heart, I'm Shawn Michael. Stay close. Thanks for tuning in to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential. Remember, transformation starts with action. So take today's insight, make it your own, and awaken your inner potential. Because remember, greatness begins within. Catch you tomorrow for your next Power Boost.